advance. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, thanks for coming today. The year is 2051. There is a new president of the United States of America. Their name is Nexus Clinton. They are artificial intelligence programmed by Google. Yes, in 2051, an artificially intelligent software is going to become the president of the United States. One of the first things our new president, or not our new president, but our neighbors to the south, their new president is going to do is going to solve the gun control problem of America. And also, we must be reminded that technology has continued to advance at the rapid pace that it has been going. So in 2051, the technologies such as drone technology will be very advanced. I don't know if anyone here knows what a drone is. Put up your hand. Lots of them? Yeah. So yes, drones are really popular right now for taking cool videos from above, and they're also used in military situations. But in 2051, drones will be a part of our everyday life outside on the street. So there'll be drones enforcing the law, security drones doing things that the government wants. In 2051, Nexus Clinton is going to bring out a drone that will remove guns from people on the street. And it will automatically give people money in exchange for the guns that it collects. So how it could work is, say you're a gun owner and you really like your gun, but you have to go to the store for some milk or something. So you're carrying your gun in your legally approved holster. And there's one of Nexus Clinton's drones coming along. And it uses little electromagnetic scanning and radars, and it's going to look into your pocket and say, oh, that gentleman has a gun. So then it will basically forcibly take the gun away from you and deposit the money that the gun is worth into your account automatically. What do you think of this solution to gun control? Does it sound plausible? Yes, Doug is saying basically, if drones can take a gun from your pocket, they pretty much control everything, and that would be a lot more problems than just everyone having guns. I agree with you, Doug. That's very good idea.
Buy milk.
Maybe you won't even need to go outside. You send your own drone to go shopping. My speech today is about gun control, and aside from the science fiction look at what might happen, I also like to talk about what we're having right now. And as you may know, in the last couple weeks, we've had some horrible events in the United States involving shootings of many people. And this not just happens last week, but also every day in the States there's shootings. And I wanted to talk about three things about this horrible issue that's happening and what we can do. So first of all, I want to say, well, how do people die from guns? Number two, why do people have guns? And number three, how is Canada different for our gun control? And then finally, I might suggest a technological solution going back to the sci-fi that I mentioned at the beginning. So first of all, how do people die from guns? Well, there's actually interesting statistic I learned recently that I shouldn't be smiling, but this is not a very smiley topic. Basically, 60% of people who die from guns are committing suicide. So this is very tragic news, but it also means that even though guns are supposed to protect us, in many cases, people get access to guns who are mentally unwell and use the guns to kill themselves. So 60% is mental illness. Another big portion of guns is accidental shootings. I don't know if you heard the statistic that in 2015, the number of people who were accidentally shot by toddlers with their parents' guns was greater than the number of people who died from terrorism in the United States. So I think there was maybe around 30 people or 50 people who died from toddlers getting hold of their guns. So it's just like the problem with guns right now is that it's a gun and maybe the person who bought it knows how to use it, but it's just sitting around and anyone can get access to it and possibly use it for a unexpected and unintentional use of killing people. So that's what I wanted to say about how people are dying from guns. Now secondly, why do people have guns? Well, it's very different in Canada because we don't really believe that we have the human right to have a gun. But in the States, it's very different. People believe that it's their freedom and their right to have a gun to protect themselves. And the argument usually goes like this. There's lots of bad guys out in the States, and they don't obey the laws. So if we have laws against guns, they only apply to the law-abiding people, the good guys. So that means that the good guys that don't have guns, bad guys have guns, that means the good guys are going to get, robbed or shot, or they'll be vulnerable. So the only solution they can see is, let's arm the good guys too and give guns to everyone so that we can all defend ourselves. Now, this argument is a problematic one because if you arm everyone in the United States, which is pretty much the case, there's around 300 million people and there's over 300 million guns. And that's what it is right now. So if we arm everyone, which is the case, the probability of these guns getting into the hands of, say, children who just want to play around and oops, that kind of thing, or mentally unwell people is very high. The more guns you have, the more chance these guns might get in the hands of people who we don't want to have. So that's a big problem. But then, how do we get rid of the guns? People believe that it's the right to have it. There's a huge lobbying group which spends $30 million a year in pro-gun campaigns. So it's very hard to get rid of them. But we can see an example of gun laws in Canada, which are very different. In Canada, if you want to own a gun, and there's actually around 2 million people in Canada who legally have a gun permit, gun license. If you want to have a gun, you have to go through about 3 months of police background checks. Police have to review your references and your background. They look for mental health issues that you might have had. They look at your character references, and then after 3 months of investigation, you get your permit. Also, in Canada, if you have guns, you're not allowed to carry them with you at all times. You have to keep them in a locked safe, probably in your house. And if you want to go transport them, there used to be a law that says you have to tell the police whenever you're going to transport your guns to, say, your shooting range and back. But that law recently was taken away. But even still, you still have to keep it in the safe. Because of those stricter gun controls, Canada has much less gun violence than the States do, and actually a huge amount less, many orders of magnitude. So what I'd like to say is the culture of guns in the United States, the belief in the freedom that people deserve to have guns, it's part of their constitutional right. That is the main barrier to changing the gun policies, because the politicians are not going to want to change the policies if everyone believes they're taking away my rights if I have to give up my guns. So possibly there's smart guns coming along. Smart guns are like a gun with a computer in it. You have to scan your fingerprint on the gun before it will allow you to shoot it. That at least eliminates the unauthorized accidental use, because your fingerprint isn't the same as your kids. The chance of your toddler shooting you with a smart gun is pretty much eliminated. So at least it eliminates that. And also, people will not get a hold of other guns and shoot them. Smart guns are very much hated by the gun lobby in the States. They think it's another attack on their gun freedoms. Let's hope it doesn't come down to 2051 with Nexus Clinton sending drones to take all our guns away. But I hope to be alive then and see what's going to happen. Thank you.